Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. So on today's video, I'm going to be replacing one of my floodlights with this Sansi LED 10,000 lumen 70 watt version right here. I've had really good success with this brand. I've gone through 3 of their lights in the last 10 years. The other 3 I have are actually still in the house and they're working fine. One of them, the oldest one I have, is starting to kind of give me a little finicky sensor issue. So I'm gonna actually relocate and repurpose that somewhere else. In its place, I'm putting this new light right here with a much better feature as far as everything goes. It's made of ceramic and metal, where it's much more robust than the all plastic one I have. And it actually comes with a remote, which I'll probably use it once or twice to set up and put it in a cabinet and never really use it again. But at least we have that option, so we don't have to climb on a ladder to make any adjustments to these knobs or any of that. As far as replacing this on your actual house, it comes with everything you need. It comes with actually wire nuts, a seal, a little adapter that fits into a regular round gang box that you're gonna find on your soffits where your existing lights are located. So this is an easy swap out if you already have incandescent floodlights on the corner of your house. To take the old one down, put this bracket up, one center screw to kind of hold it in with the seal, and then you have a cap that covers up the little hole right here that ends up in that place. So I'll go ahead and do that install first. If you guys want to know how to actually add a floodlight and wire up one, I'll have it later on in this video where I relocate the old light to a new location where I want an actual powered light instead of the battery solar ones I'm using in that area. It's just an extra spot that is not critical for me, so I'm gonna go ahead and install the old light that's still working fine, but that's gonna be much more detailed in the second half of this video. As far as the tools we need just to swap out the light, we just need a drill with a Phillips and a screwdriver, and that's really it. When we do the other install, that's gonna be much more involved and that's gonna take a lot more tools, so we'll show you what we use on that one when we get to that. Before you start, make sure your power is disconnected or your light is turned off so you don't shock yourself. But for this particular one, we're gonna go ahead and take apart the cap, unscrew it with this just to drop it. Your existing incandescent one might be similar, or you might have 2 screws to unscrew it, but they're pretty much all very similar. Unscrew your wire nuts in here and just remove the old light. So inside of here, you're gonna have, this is your generic basic 4-inch round gang box for most of your lights that you're gonna find out here. This thing already has a bracket for that other one, and we're gonna remove this and install the new bracket. Other than that, pretty basic. Most of yours are gonna have the exact same setup to install this new light. To install the new bracket, go ahead, put the screws back in loosely, and then the bracket's actually designed to slip right in and then tighten right up. So on the bracket, you basically have the little cone right here going up, slip it right there, and then slide it sideways into there, and then tighten it back up. You'll notice there's a little ground hole right here. If this was being mounted to a metal box, you would actually have to ground it, but since this thing is not mounted to a metal box, we have the ground wire right here, a green ground wire coming off of the new light. So we're gonna make those connections and it's gonna go ahead and ground it. This thing is attached to a plastic box, so you don't need to ground that little ring right there. This part of the install is a little bit tricky when you're by yourself. So what you wanna do is be able to hold it up, make all the wiring connections, and still not drop this thing. So first thing I wanna do is get the gasket in here, route the gasket through. You got the 3 wire nuts that come with it. We'll go ahead and use those 3 wire nuts in here. Once we get those tight, go ahead, tuck this up into there. Kind of store all your wires above, and then we want to line up the screw. Yep. Once you get in there, make sure you tuck all your wires up, get everything ready to put back in. Get the screw through all the way to the top. Make sure the seal's good. Tuck your wires in, make sure nothing hangs out. Once you screw the screw in and catch the threads, you can basically support it here and adjust it where you need to. So what I'm going to try to do right now is get the wires. We got that thing installed, pretty much aimed where I need it to. So this paddle is going to aim like that direction, and I'll have this paddle aim like the opposite direction because of this thing in the way here. But you can basically adjust it. Once we get dark, we'll go ahead and adjust this thing and see how it looks, but this is good for now. One of the things you want to do, there is a test button here, so you can actually test the sensitivity and everything, and then this is the actual sensitivity and distribution of the sensor, and I think you can make that adjustment on the remote too, so you could always test that with the remote to do everything. So I just used the remote to turn it on remotely after I turned the power on, so you can actually turn the brightness up and down. So I turned it all the way down. Right now I can hit this thing and step the brightness up using the remote. So that's pretty awesome there, just to be able to do that based on what light output you need. So I've been playing with the remote, and it's got some pretty cool features. You could set it to basically do dusk till dawn, where it only comes on and off, where it stays on all night, and then it doesn't use the detection. You can set it to basically be on all the time right here. You can set to auto detection, which is what most people do. In auto detection, you can set the minutes right here, the time delay minutes, to 5, 10, whatever you want there. You can set your how bright or how dark you want it to come on based on the ambient light, and then you can adjust the sensitivity up and down of the sensor. So pretty cool features for the remote. So I started looking at the old one again. This thing was not 7,000 lumens, it was only 3,400 lumens. So I basically tripled my output to 10,000 lumens, but I also increased to 70 watts versus 30 watts. But I think that's a good upgrade for this area where I come out and do stuff on the side of my garage all the time, and then when it gets dark, so I like to have a lot of light over here. So the next part of the video, we're going to go ahead and install a floodlight right here in the corner of the house. Right here, kind of serving this area where my air conditioning is, my lawnmower, just junk back here, and then the yard. That's to complement what I just installed over there. So what I'm going to do is I installed a floodlight over there on a previous video on that corner that does it on the other side of this shed. So I'm going to go ahead and pull a wire from that junction box over to here, and we're going to go ahead and install it right here in the corner. To do the rest of this project, we're going to need this right here, which is basically a 4-inch box, 200 cubic inches, about $3 at Lowe's. Go ahead, get some Romex, that's 25 feet of it. That's all we really need to extend that. I've got these things right here. These are fiberglass rods that you can just screw on and extend. I'm going to use this to pull the cable to the next junction box. And then you just need some pliers and some other little hand tools to take the soffit apart once we get up there. First thing we want to do is go ahead, just bend these down, kind of bend this flap around, take apart the single nail that's holding this. So go ahead and bend these, just slightly bend it, don't mess up your soffit too much, because you want to get access to the nails that hold this panel right here in. Slowly bend it. Yeah, to take that soffit down, pretty much you have to take apart that little staple right there. I just ended up ripping that thing out. I'll end up replacing it with a new nail anyways, but the other nail that holds it in is right here where that actually holds the soffit up. So right here is, we're in the soffit. Each of these pieces of soffit interlock with each other right here, so that piece that we took off kind of slides into here and it tucks in. We're gonna have to go ahead, pull that cable all the way down there for the new wiring. I'm gonna go ahead and mount the new box right to this wood right here by just hammering it right into it, and then just kind of positioning it where we want to in the middle of this spot right here that we get to. We went ahead and pounded that in perfectly where we need it to be. So I'm all set there. The next thing I need to do is cut a circle in that soffit piece so we can actually have it here. So I want to go ahead and line that up, take some measurements, make sure I get a nice even circle. So I've measured the hole pretty much where I need it to be. I'm gonna use my hole saw to kind of cut a perfect circle. So this is basically a 4-inch hole. I want to go get it. So I marked the 2 ends of it and I try to see where the center was. So you want to hold on it, make sure you get a good grip on it, because this thing is gonna grab. I'm going reverse to cut it backwards so it doesn't catch. I just bend out the last of it and put a perfectly good 4-inch hole. Let's hope it lines up. All right, so we're over here. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this old light down, or this other side, so I can pull the thing through. This is my other Sansi light. This is a newer one, but it's the same model, just a newer version of that previous one I just took apart over there that I had bought a few years back. So to make things easy, right beneath this thing, I'm not gonna try not to take apart this soffit for now because I don't need to. We'll go ahead, string these things through and just go all the way to the end so I can pull the new cords through. The rod came all the way over here. Go ahead, spin the, and we'll go ahead, push it all back and go the other side and pull this through. It really helps if you have 2 people helping you, but I'm doing this by myself, so I'm gonna have to just push it through as much as I can and then pull the other end when I get there. All right, so now the hard part is for me to try to get this thing into one of those little knockouts that you actually push the wire through, because I don't have access up here without taking apart the soffit. So I'm gonna try to kind of finagle my way in there and to hook this thing around to see if I can pull it down. I won't be able to show you on camera on that, but I'll just work my way through and get it through there. In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and secure the other side through the junction box so I don't lose that cable. So once we get into here, I'll go ahead and staple this right here to the actual board. I'll get a actual Romex staple right there and then get it into here. So I'll go ahead and pop one of these things and just slide the cable right into there. That way it goes right into the junction box like we need to. And then pretty much it on this goes right into there and just pull it through. So that's pretty easy there. So I'll go ahead, terminate that there onto here once I know how much slack I need as far as going all the way down there. So you can see the cable just sitting there. All right, so we were able to pull that loop around there. You can see right into that hole. So now I can just pull it through as much as I need and then push the rest of the slack back in and clip the other side. But yeah, that's what you want to do, just get it into that junction box the way it is there so you can work with it. Go ahead, pull the slack back through.
One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two.
All right, we went ahead, got this thing all installed. Everything is buttoned up, wired up, and everything is good to go there. So go ahead and turn this on and test it. We were able to turn the power on and everything came on perfect as far as the floodlights go. So I've got plenty of floodlights right now over here on the shed side of my house with all my junk and my air conditioner and everything that I do over here. So I'll be well lit over here at night when I need to do stuff right here. I want to thank you guys for watching all the way to the end of this video on installing these new Sansi floodlight, the 10,000 lumen 70 watt version, plus relocating my old 3400 lumen 30 watt version right over there and running all the new electrical wiring. As you can see, pretty straightforward project. I've been doing all these different exterior lighting projects on my house all these years, and everything is super bright out here. We can do anything in the dark now. If you guys found this video useful, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to your channel, go ahead and subscribe to your channel. Turn on bell notifications to get notified every time I upload a video. For all these different projects, if I can do it, you guys can do it. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time.